So, welcome to another episode of NFT Game Day. And if you recognize the person below us, you're as excited as we are because the last time Nick was here to talk about GNO City, we loved it. It was great. What you guys are doing is really super fantastic fun. Corey definitely has some questions because he mentioned yesterday that he needs to learn how to know him a little bit better.
Yeah, well, and Nick sent me a video. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, and I just have to take the time to dig into it. But yeah, I whaled into a bunch of stuff, and I haven't had time to really play with it yet. But I'm gonna there's some stuff farming tales and stuff. I whaled into some of that stuff, and the more I looked into it, great project. Clearly, they're gonna do really well. I just know I'm not gonna have time to do it. But GNO Cities, I just can't let it go. There's just too much possibility there, and I know that complexity is going to bear fruit over time. So it's kind of in my never sell category, even though I am a total noob and I suck at it right now.
Yeah, it's usually common. I mean, there's so much going on with you guys. So, I mean, hopefully one day you guys don't get as busy and you guys can actually play every day. But there's just so much going on and just general of the metaverse and what's going on with Wax. I mean, look what happened to Wax in the last 30 days. It's pretty insane.
Right? It's nuts, yeah.
Yeah, so let's do it. If you guys have questions for about GNO City, drop them in the comments and please share this out. Let's play our NFT Game Day intro, and then we'll dive in.
Bubble. I'm not the 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 bubble.
I kind of want to interview Corey now. I don't even know if you have an answer for this, Corey, but I'm curious. What is it that won't leave you alone? What is it that won't let you go? What is it that yeah?
Sorry, the last time we talked, and I think if we were gonna, and I think you were saying even your team, Nick, was. I don't criticizing is the wrong word, but constructively saying is this getting too complicated? We're doing too many things at once. And the more I'm looking at these games and Blue Dack, frankly, and a bunch of other stuff, complexity to me now means that your hardcore players are going to be sticking around long enough, right? So if you can get that right, you've got the stickiness that's going to allow you to eventually create an onboarding thing so that any noob is going to be able to come in and, like me, for example, and get enough of that taste to sort of, kind of keep going, if that makes sense. But the stuff that I see lasting till the next bull market run in 4 years or whatever, I have a suspicion that a high degree of complexity is going to be one of the things that that basically makes them sticky enough for people to keep coming back day after day after day after day after day for years, which ultimately is where I think the largest potential gain is coming, right? Because are there games now where you can go in and make a bunch of money this cycle? Yes, there's a lot of top chasing going on now too, right? Like anyone getting into Farmer's World, be careful, right? Because you just never know how long it's gonna last. And I didn't think it was gonna last this long, so you might do really well. I don't know. But who knows what that's going to look like in 4 or 5 years or whatever, right? So I'm looking at stuff that is still, developing and has a really amazing team and has a high degree of complexity, and gnomes. And if it doesn't have gnomes, like it's immediate 20% off. Like I don't, you know. But if it has gnomes and Noken that I can go stake on Blue Deck, then I'm still a little bit biased.
Yeah, I think onboarding right now is tough for a lot of people because they're so used to those simple games. You jump in and click, you're done. So the complexity part is a little bit of a barrier / resistance for some of these people. But I think you're right. I mean, longevity, these are the type of games that are going to grow.
Sorry, I'm just trying to, get rid of this dude because like I don't need to buy followers. Like we're cool, so go away. But yeah. What it lets me ban everyone who's in here that I love, but it doesn't let me ban this gnome head. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But yeah, it's very cool, like what you guys are doing, and I think what like your platform in a way, like your I'm trying to bring it up. It's Waxcloud Wallet's taking forever to load, but there like it's not like a Mario Brothers game where you go in and you jump around and you go from point A to point B. You go in and there's a whole plethora of like different things that you can do, different starting points that you can have, right? So do you want to kind of explain to someone who might be new to it, like what does the gnome GNO City, what does it offer people, right? Like what
Yeah, so basically, No City right now you have characters. So you can pick a gnome, you can pick complex series characters, or you can pick CYKOKO, which is a comic artist that is more like retro style. He just dropped a pack, I think, this week. Yeah, it was this week. But our whole plan is, you have these characters, you can level them up, you can add skills to it. And then there's a strategic play on them because you want to set them in your lineup. And you would be able to use our PvP, which is, you can battle against, other players. And what happens is you'll match up with people within 5 levels in the PvP mode. Your character will start losing health over time, but you can feed it food and re-heal it, or you can use the free heal. But our whole concept behind the game isn't just jumping in playing PvP. That's why we made the racing mode, because, hey, you can also race. And then everyone kept coming to me like, what's the point of getting the highest level? Well, we have more of a competitive scene. We're doing tournaments. We're having over $15,000 in cash prize, in Noken prizes. But that is going to then kind of evolve in a way of, okay, well, if you want to be highest level, you're gonna have to add it to your active lineup and also participate in the PvP mode. So it forces these people to put in their highest level, play the PvP mode, play the tournament modes. And really, I'm trying to really just not be that game that's just one thing. Right now, we're developing an actual game where it's like the city where you can literally walk around. You can walk around, you can capture wild gnomes. You can pretty much, there's going to be land, there's going to be purpose behind the land. You can pick residential versus commercial. If you have a certain zoning, it's going to have different benefits. My vision of this was to just not be that click, set, forget type of game, more so be a little bit more involved. My plan was not to make it as complex as it is, but I think if I can break it down for the onboarding process of new people and show them it's really not that complicated once you're in. But right now I think a lot of people are just on wax, like, hey, I just want to be able to click and play to earn and make money, and that's it. But I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to push this a little bit more because it's just not one. It's not one road. There's going to be, if you want to do PvP, great. If you want to do racing only, you can do that. And my whole vision really is to go a little bit more expanding. I want to be able to, reach out to other developers and be like, hey, you have a collection? Let's create utility inside No City, and kind of like tack it on our game as well. Because I think I want to say like the Grand Theft Auto, where it's just like you could do anything you want, kind of like Uplift, where you could just walk around, you could do anything you want. I want to be that type of game, and really just kind of unite the community as well. I started this in March. I would say May was like crazy for me, and really just the game evolving and just really getting to know a lot of other creators and other developers. But Wax, just look at all the other games that are coming out. It's insane. I love it. I'm not scared of competition. I actually love it because it's going to expand our community.
Yep.
And look at Wax right now, the price of it. I think if everything keeps evolving the way it is, these NFT games, I think Wax, from an outside perspective, they're going to start seeing us really as we already are the play to earn platform, but I think they'll start seeing it and they'll start emerging over. And I think OpenSea and all those other platforms are kind of die off a little bit. But just in general, like, our vision really is to make this game just not one thing. And we've been developing hardcore in the last, I would say, like 5 months easy. But we're not stopping. We're going to continue building. We're going to continue creating utility behind everything. We have our gnome series, series 2 coming out. And these gnomes are actually going to have more utility behind it. It's kind of interesting how we have it set up, but you'll be able to farm if you have a certain like type of gnome, and generate food and stuff like that. So we want to kind of evolve this game a little bit more into, I want to put it in quotes, like mining your NFTs, and stuff like that. So they're bringing more value as you hold them.
Yeah, like in our, and you kind of described it, like we had a couple of conversations the last couple of days where it really seems like you're taking your ability to create game loops, which obviously you're like insane level good at because you do too many too quickly. Argue, like other people might argue, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Even though I have to catch up, which is one. But like it puts you in a position where you can, looking at the idea that you can give value and functionality to other people's NFTs, you become more platform than specific game, and that lights my spidey sense on fire every time I see somebody doing that, because like that's what creates at the first level anti-fragility, which means you're going to last for a long time, but also means that like all those, you're basically networking all the communities and the attention together, which Jimmy knows, like every chance I get to rant about that stuff, even from back in the Art Planet days, I will. But just that to me just seems like a key feature that puts you in control of growth. Even if it takes a little while, who cares? It'll be consistent and unstoppable.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember like the game Farmville back in the day, but that game was so huge and all of a sudden it just dropped off. And I think that's, some of these games it's going to happen on Wax. It's only
100%.
It's going to happen. I think like these games that keep evolving and keep on expanding and just don't, some of these games are riding the wave, and I think that's where the problem is going to happen, where it's just going to be, it's going to come down crashing pretty hard, and then you have these games that are undervalued or underappreciated, and all of a sudden now they're going to start climbing to the ranks.
There's a speed trap
but
ahead.
there's just so much happening. I mean, I guess just
that was perfect timing. I mean,
yeah.
all these things are going to come to a fore where people are just going to jump in, and the whole space is going to go mad. Ding, ding, ding. There's a speed trap ahead. Please slow down.
Ended up being perfect timing.
Please keep your hands in. Please keep your hands in.
Keep your hands and feet in the cart at all times.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, but I think like I'm with you there, and I just to go back to what you were saying before, like I lose so much money in Wax just because I refuse to log in somewhere and click a button so that I can get money, right? Like like it sounds really like a first world problem, but like I'm way too busy for that, doing the shit that I'm doing, and like it drives me crazy, right? So like when I can get into a game, or when I can get into a metaverse and I can actually do something, right, and I can enjoy my time as opposed to just pressing a button for money, that's when it becomes a game and less of a chore, right? Like that's and so like I get it, I get a lot of people want to do that, but I really respect the fact that you're going out of your way to like bring together gaming with the ability to choose your own adventure in a way, and tailor this towards people. So it's cool too. Like you guys have got, that's weird. Why doesn't that show up? You guys have got like, so I wanted to go over this. You guys have got 3 collections over on Nifty Blocks right now. So I wanted to like kind of go over like how do people get in to the game? Like what do you need? Like you need a gnome, obviously, right? And then like there's two other collections that I didn't notice here the last time that we had you. You guys have a whole collection called Gnome City, but you also have a whole collection called like Gnome City Food, basically. So I like what's going on here. So can you tell us a little bit about your collections and
Yeah.
what differentiates them? I'm going to try to share that now.
Definitely. So if you're on the dashboard of No City, I mean, you can scroll down a little bit after the Noken shop and you'll see that we have a starter pack. That starter pack has your base cards that are already leveled up. It has a health item, and it has pretty much everything to get started. And that's through a credit card only, through a third party. But the breakdown of what we have the No City collection, which is your general gaming of your daily energy boost, your racing tickets, anything that's generalized of like inside the game mechanics. And then we have the food, which is the food portion is No City consumables, which is No City Food 1 on Nifty blocks. That is what feeds your characters to give them more health and likability and stuff like that. And we also have Crypto Racing Club, which is the vehicles and the upgrades on your cars for the racing mode. We have Builder's Block, which is going to be how you build your expand on your home. That's going to be inside the city. Speed trap again. Um, and there's materials, which is brick, steel, and stuff like that, and wood, is going to allow you to build what we're going to have are these nets that you can capture these wild NFTs and these wild gnomes in the city. You'll be able to build your nets with these resources as well. So we have a lot going on. But the characters that are playing in the game are the Gnome Series 1 and going to be the Series 2 characters as well. The CYKO, which should be out next week. Their pack is released. You can buy their pack now. But you'll be able to use those characters and play them in the game. And then Complex Series. Complex Series kind of evolves around the characters itself. And then we also have what we call pets. Those pets are used for passive experience. So if you wanted to have 500 experience per hour, you would have to have 500 experience in pets. But you can claim them and put them into a character and put them into any skill you want and stuff like that. And that's the way you're going to level up easily. Or you can use the skills that might be inside some packs and stuff like that, or on the secondary market on Atomic Hub. But we do have a lot going on. It gets confusing. But I think if you're just starting out, the best thing really is the starter pack that we have created, because it gives you a pre-leveled up base card, so you don't have to level it up. It's balanced stats. So like someone like Corey last time got destroyed in PvP because his stats weren't balanced. This will kind of get you started and kind of get you the feel of how to do PvP, how to heal, and stuff like that. It has everything you need. It also has a racing ticket. The only thing you would have to really buy is a racing pack to get a vehicle, but it gives you an upgrade as well. It gives you perks. So we just released perks, I think, like last week, 2 weeks ago. These days are all merging for me, but you can add these perks to kind of increase a percentage of a certain skill. So if you want a plus 5% on defense, you would have a perk and you'd be able to apply it and stake it. Like I said, we have a lot going on. It gets confusing, but we try to break it down for people to kind of understand. But that's why if you go through our navigation, we also have like a little like info box at the top, kind of explaining the section, the area, and stuff like that.
That's on here, right?
Yeah, you would have to select your character. So if you want to click on a character and then scroll down, it'll say start the game.
Where's the character?
You scroll down in the middle.
I see what you're saying. Sorry.
Start the game, yeah.
All right, sorry.
I think we're gonna be heading to some spots where connection's probably gonna get a little bit loose for us. But could you go over real quick, because selfishly, because this is the information that I personally need. I saw something on Twitter about a whitelist ticket that we could grab. Where do we grab that? When's the land sale? Why do I need some land? And how much is it going to run me?
So, yeah, I'll give a quick breakdown. If you go into the dashboard of No City, you'll see there's a whitelist ticket. It's just 5,000 Noken. Now, that is just a chance to get the land. So how I'm basically releasing this land, this whitelist only. Once you own this whitelist ticket, it'll give you access to the drop. You can have 2 pieces of land. So you can create zoning for residential. You can create zoning for commercial. That land will be $150 in wax, depending on wax price, of course. But what will happen is when I drop this, I'm going to take the percentage of, okay, well, if we have, let's say 1,000 whitelist tickets sold, I'm going to do 80% of that. I'm going to drop. So there'll be 800 lands for people to grab, and you can grab 2 at a time. So if you want a percentage breakdown there, I mean, if everyone got 2, you have a 40% chance of getting it. Don't think everyone's going to get 2. It's priced pretty high, but our plan really is to create, of course, we can have land pretty much anywhere in the world because our map is, using actual coordinates. But we don't want to release too much land too soon. I want to grow a little bit more. I want wax to grow a little bit more. But eventually down the road, I mean, we'll release more. I'm going to put a max template on the land. So I think I'm thinking around 3,000 total, and that's it. But we'll be able to select the land and stuff like that. So once you have your land, you'll be able to claim it, and you'll be able to pick residential, commercial, and then it'll automatically generate the location once you submit and claim it. So you don't know where you're getting, but people are going to be able to visit your land if they capture a wild gnome. We're going to spit out some rewards for the landowner and also, of course, the person that's capturing. And there's other ways where, if someone visits your commercial land, there's ways where in Series 2 that you'll be able to set up, these characters and make them workers, employees. And if you have, let's say, a farm, for example, you create a business that's farm related, you'll be able to generate food. So instead of buying food on the secondary market or buying food in the game, now you own the supply of food. You can do whatever you want with the food. You want to just keep on healing your own character? Sure. You want to sell it? Sell it. But our whole concept behind this really is providing utility behind people that want to build their homes or rent out certain areas of their land to have homes, or the commercial side, which, if you want to just keep on hustling and bustling, you can do that. But that's like the basics. I'm trying to really kind of like put it in layman terms, but it's pretty complicated. But I think once I get it like in a visual format for people, I think they'll start understanding like the vision and how it's going to break down in the future.
I like it. Yeah, no, I'm definitely in. The FOMO thing, savage, and I both love you and hate you a little bit for it. But I dig it. All right, I'm gonna jump off, guys. But yeah, thanks for that. I'll definitely pick up one of those tickets. And I'm not gonna tell anyone about it. Don't anyone else tell anyone about it. Just gotta secure those tickets. Just kidding. Everybody should take a shot. So I think it like even just studying the way these game mechanics are gonna work out and exploring it, which is kind of what we're all doing. I'm super stoked, man. I think it's really cool.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I will. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Corey.
Ciao.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. Like, I almost want to say, like, because one of the things that we did in the Uplift world not so long ago, well, I mean, it was eons ago, but, it's crypto, so it's not so long ago, was we, emancipated all the villagers. We got rid of them, for the benefit of the economy, and we put in little shops. And I like the fact that pretty much you're building that village that we got rid of. No, I mean, like, and it totally, like, I think it works, right? Like, and I like the fact that,
I mean, I like what Dan's building over at Immersus.
Yeah,
those like shops.
Yeah, we're
pretty
big
cool.
fans of that too. I like the fact, I like the fact that like it's not a game. I like the fact that it's a reality that you can shape and you can choose, right? Like, I remember like playing these games, way back before crypto, or you built a city, or you did like sim games or sim family or whatever, these types of things, right? Or even the games where you would build an empire or something like that. Well, there was a process that you had to go through, and like to win the game, you had to do these things. Almost you could change the order sometimes, but you pretty much had to do these things, and keep hitting the same hurdles that everyone else was hitting, right? There was a process, that there was a page 1, a page 2, a page 3 of the playbook. And this is how you played. This is how you developed it. This is how you won. This is how you got good. And this is what you searched for when you weren't good enough to figure it out yourself. And you wanted the cheat key from the internet, right? But it's interesting because, again, this is what differentiates the metaverse from, just a simple game. Because now you're giving people options. They can do whatever the hell they want. Once they have this piece of land, like you said, they can feed their own, gnomes. They can put it on the market. They can sell it. They can rent out portions of land. And yeah, it does sound really complex, but it's so complex in its ability to replicate what you would go through in real life that it's easy to understand, if that makes sense, right? And so I think that's kind of a lot of times what's missing from a lot of these, games that we play is we get it close, but it's not quite there, right? And so I really like the idea of this for sure. I don't know why this is my StreamYard's acting up, and for some reason it's not showing this, so I'll try it again. But yeah, I think it's really cool. So again, can you just go over, because I actually missed it. Where do you get the whitelist for this?
So once you're in the actual game, once you logged in, if you scroll down, it says buy packs and NFTs, the Noken shop.
Yeah.
There's the land whitelist ticket. It's 5,000 Noken. If you don't have Noken, of course you can get on Alcor.
Yeah.
But you buy it. We're going to generate the number. People keep asking me, well, what if I buy multiple? Does it increase my chances? Directly, no, it doesn't increase your chance, but there's going to be more land because there's going to be more whitelist tickets. So some people are buying multiple just so I release more land, but I do want to kind of limit that in a way. I don't want to release too much land at once here. I look at the numbers of our actual game, how many unique wallets are playing and stuff like that. So I try to keep it down to a minimum, but people keep telling me once you release land, you're going to bring in a new amount of players. So we're going to try scaling accordingly. So we're just kind of expanding slowly here, and maybe we'll do a part 2 land drop, in a couple months, stuff like that.
Okay, very cool.
If you scroll up, you'll see it.
I missed it. I keep scrolling over it. Where is it?
It's right there, land whitelist ticket. Scroll up a little bit more, you'll see the picture of it. Where it has the little animation. It's the second item right there.
Sorry. Sorry, man. I totally. Oh man, sorry. It's been a long day. I've had a few streams today, and I was totally I was looking for a ticket. I wasn't looking for something that was moving, so my head was going right over that. So.
Yeah, that's a preview of what's actually in the game, where someone's walking around capturing a gnome.
Okay, that's really cool. I like it. So yeah, and then as you said, there's rewards for people being on your land. There's rewards for people capturing on your land. There's rewards for capturing the gnome itself. That's really cool. That's really interesting. I like this. This is a cool T-shirt too, by the way. It's great. You guys have got a good logo. We spent a lot of time thinking about our logo, but that's pretty cool. So, and again, I guess if you go in the game here, you can see what we were talking about earlier with the starter pack here.
Yeah, it's going through Owen's Market. It's totally, they're great developers. They helped me make this pack that is allowing me to create, all these collections in one of the pack. I wanted to do on Nifty, but then I couldn't figure it out how to get all my collections on one pack. But yeah, this is great for anyone that's starting out because it gives you everything. It gives you everything to really get started and kind of get you a feel for how to play.
Okay, very cool. Actually, I don't know if I've ever actually used Owens before, so that's kind of
pretty
cool
easy. You just log in with an email and then use your credit card, and then you can transfer it to your wallet.
So I want to ask, because I'm not busting balls, I'm actually genuinely serious. Why did you decide for the in favor of the credit card first time user purchase?
Well, we didn't have we don't have a smart contract really set up that we would be able to accept wax an easy way, end user easy way. So we do have the smart contract set up with Owens, But then someone would have to like you wouldn't be able to click open or unbox. You would have to transfer it to another wallet, and we just felt like if someone had to do that, it's another barrier slash resistance.
Mhm.
I'm trying to really get someone that really like, hey, I want to try a game. It's a low entry point. Me personally, I haven't really played any wax games. Like I keep looking at other games. I'm like, oh, I want to play, and then I see like the price to like really just buy like one NFT to get in. I'm like, I'm not going to spend that right now. So for me, like I wanted to create something that was the lower entry point of, hey, I want to try it out. You can still earn, I think it's like 3 Noken per win with a base card, but with the credit card and the setup, really, there's no resistance there. It's simple, it's easy, and really, for me, starting out in just wax general. I mean, I started out in March. It was so hard to even get wax in the United States. So I
Right.
was like, and I'm a cryptocurrency user, and I'm like, oh, I got to go to KuCoin, I got to do this, I got to do that. Oh my god! And like to me, like if I wasn't a creator, I think I would have stopped right there.
Hmm.
But as time evolves, I mean, now you can go on crypto.com and get wax. You can go Binance if you're not in the United States. But just in general now, I think like for me, like if someone really just wants to kind of like get into that play to earn mode and go, look, it's $10, I'm gonna give it a shot. That's where my mindset is. I really want to be. I don't want to be like the lowest entry point of a game, but as we grow, I want people to try it out. I want people to give it a shot without having to pay $2,000 for NFT to try it. But that's just me coming from the outside, thinking, for the longevity of the game and stuff like that. We're not giving these people rare cards or anything. It's just like really a starter, a base to try stuff out.
Yeah, and I mean, like our biggest blocking point, really, in the uplift, well, too, but our biggest blocking point is that initial feed that doesn't even go to us. It actually goes to Minecraft, for the Minecraft Java account to be able to register and stuff like that. But we've been thinking about that as well too, right? Like once you have that that account, then somebody can whitelist you to the land. But like eventually, we're working towards like social logins where anyone can log in and doing these types of things. So I think that you're onto something there, right? Like because that's the thing, right? Like a lot of these traditional gamers who are playing games, they're used to you're totally going to know where I live now, but they're used to going to the convenience store and like paying for game items at the cashier at the convenience store, which is a big thing in Asia, believe it or not. And like or using mom's credit card when she's not home, to get online and do it. And like they look at something like you said, even Waxcloud Wallet is quite simple and it's quite easy, but like if you don't have someone to walk you through the process, it's a little bit complicated, right? And I think one of the good things about a lot of these communities is once you're in these communities, people are like, especially gaming communities on Wax, people are usually pretty nice. I mean, don't believe everyone, but for the most part, like, we look after our own and we make sure that like people are in there having fun and doing things. So I like it. Like, I like that almost no barrier to entry. Like, I think that's what it needs to be, rather than having to, figure out how to buy Bitcoin and then change Bitcoin to here and then move it over here. And then like worry, like I'll read a freaking 3-day document to decide whether you can actually buy it in the US or not, or whether you're going to like end up in jail. Like you're not going to end up in jail, by the way, but like, you know what I mean? Right? Like it's really scary for those initial people. So I like it. So yeah. And like, so, I think that's pretty cool. And like, you don't have to have a starter pack to be on the whitelist to buy land, right? Like anyone can do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally buy Noken on Alcor Exchange.
Yeah.
I think it comes out to maybe like 10 to 15 wax, and you get this whitelist ticket. And I mean, technically, with land, you don't even need to own any other NFT. I mean, you can still get the rewards because
Mhm.
you own that piece of land in the game. And that was my whole entire concept too, because I don't know what the secondary market is going to do on other items. And for me thinking, okay, well, if someone really just wanted to have land and have passive, Noken or whatever it's going to be for them, that they're visioning of their land, um, they can do it. This isn't just, oh, you need to do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and be like, what am I doing? It's as simple as, you want to do this part of the game, do it. You want to do this part of the game, do it. And a lot of feedback I got from other people like, well, I set a character in PvP and then they move their character into racing and they're like, well, why am I losing? Well, I'm like, you have all these experience contributed to the PvP mode and you tried adding some to the racing. Of course you're gonna get beat out because other people are just making one character for racing and leveling that way. And there's a strategic way to do it on both sides here. And you know, for me, I'm a gamer. I've been gaming since I was little. Uh, you know, entering Wax and just in general, I think I start. You know, the biggest game was Our Planet. I was like, holy crap! Like this is insane. And now we see Farmers World and all these other the Farming Tales and all these other games, and I'm like, damn, it's evolving since just March. And I'm like, to me, like my vision of this was like I thought I was gonna be the first one to have, you know, the like, you know, this expansive game. And I'm looking at these other ones, I'm like, damn, they're moving pretty quick. But it's just for me, it's fun to watch. Um, just in general. And I think as Wax kind of keeps on evolving and growing, and I mean, I never visioned it to be close to $1 at the end of the year. Everyone told me in my community, it was like, oh yeah, it'll be $1. I'm like, there's no way. And we're approaching it now. I'm like, this is insane. And I'm the one that looks at like articles and look for like, why is Wax going up type of person. And I'm like, there's nothing really generating this besides the play to earn. It's people entering.
Yeah. I'm so happy that you said that because I'm that guy. I'm like, well, why is this moving now? Like, why now? Like, right? Like,
Bitcoin goes down, Wax goes up, and I'm like, what?
No, I mean, it was, yeah. And I think, you know, it's really, I wish I would have, I have this art series that I actually want to release as like some NFTs on Wax as well. And I really wish I would have done it like, you know, last month or the month before, because like, you know, dollar value, they're still going to see the same price, but I would have had a hell of a lot more Wax when it moves, you know, you just don't have time for it. So, but like you said, for the land and most things that you guys are doing with GNO City, it's all priced in you know, dollars, right? Like it's not priced in Wax. So like if the Wax price moves, then the dollar amount will always stay the same, right? So that's a nice thing, right? And it's easy to just, you know, go in the day before and pick up Wax. That's usually what I do rather than having to worry about unstaking things. Because I think Wax is going to go up. I don't know when, but I don't want to spend the max that I have. So like it's actually a bit of a hurdle for me because I have to go and buy Wax and then I have to go buy what I want to buy because I don't want to use my Wax that I already bought, right? It's like, but yeah, so I mean, I was excited about it. So, but yeah, like, so is there anything else that you want to, you know, fill us in on when it comes to the whitelisting when it comes to the whitelisting and the land that maybe we glazed over?
Yeah, I mean the land is dropping next week, so that drop, I believe it was the 23rd. Is that Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday on the 23rd. You know, I'm still trying to configure a way that everyone has a shot. Maybe do like a certain percentage of drop at this time, and then, you know, for the other side of the world for at this time. That's my number one complaint with my community. Like you drop it more for like, you know, Eastern or the United States, and I'm like, it's tough for me because I want to make sure it's balanced in a way. But you know, I really want people that, you know, maybe don't even have land in other games really have a shot at this. You know, I mean, I think it was last month, Splinterland, someone sold a region for like $700,000, and like, to me that is so crazy, but the value of that in long term for someone could be pretty good. But to me, I mean, look at Wax went up, that person technically probably now has like what, $2 million, maybe
Right.
more. So just in general, like with this land, I'm really just trying it. People told me, they're like, that's a lot of money, $150. I'm like, is it really? Because you're gonna have this forever. I mean, you can resell it if you want, but this is something you're owning a piece of land in this game, and it's not going to be like, you know, infinite. This is going to be hard to get in the future as we grow. But really, I mean, this is a perfect shot for anybody that wants to just even enter into GNO City, own land, and do whatever they want with it. I mean,
Well, and there's a potential for passive income there as well, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
like, when do you ever spend $150 in a shop and get passive income? Like, never.
I mean, we are like Noken is under a decentralized autonomous organization, so I don't have any ownership of Noken. I relinquished that to the community because I thought for this game to really grow and expand, I wanted the community to jump in. I want the community to run this. I don't want to be the person that owns the token, owns the game, and be able to really just kind of corner the market in the game. I don't want to do that. I want the community to drive this. I want the community to drive the token. I want the community to drive the game. So just in general, like we have a decentralized autonomous organization set up where you can vote. You can vote for a feature in the game that's going to involve Noken. So I know there's a few that are already passed. Like we have egg evolutions coming out for Series 2, where it's another whitelisting mechanic, but those Series 2 are going to be workers and stuff like that inside the city as well. But there's Noken that's going to be used for that. There's 25. I think what got passed through the community was 2,500 Noken is going to be used for these evolutions. So if you have, let's say, the Mary J gnome, we're having an evolution of that. It's a higher character. It's a whole different type of look on the card and stuff like that. My whole vision of this really is community driven. When I started in March, I saw their games. I'm like, this is where Wax and Atomic Hub and everything has been so community driven versus some of those other platforms where everything was just shill this, shill that, and that was it. When I started out and going into NFTs, I literally saw something in just Wax community. I'm like, everyone's helping out each other. Like like I'm used to going on Steam and getting these comments and my ass ripped out and be like, what? They're literally telling me my game sucks and all this other stuff, and I'm like, damn, like,
Right.
and I'm so used to the toxic gaming space, and then when I entered this, I'm like, wait, this person just gave this person a free NFT that had like a $20 value. Like, what is this person doing? But like, that's how we're evolving, and I hope we can continue that in general in my community and just also in the Wax community. Because that's what's really making everyone thrive and really build this community up.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like I've experienced some things not so long ago in a couple of different other blockchain spaces that would just like, wow, I don't even want to be here. I want to go back to Wax, right? But like you're right, like it's so nice and people are like just generally friendly and looking to help one another out. And I think like there might be something to be said there with like a community of metaverses in a way. Because yeah, I know that metaverses exist on other places, but they don't seem to be as communal. I think it would like it's kind of like the difference between like going to a high school reunion with your friends and hanging out like versus going to a department store for like a book reading or an event that's happening, right? And that's the way I see a lot of these other metaverses on Ethereum. Like people go in and they look around at the art and that can be like a cool experience, but it doesn't seem to be like there's that many people actually interacting with it, right? Like there's no peer PvP in like Somnium Space or any of these things, right? And Wax metaverses from what we've experienced, they seem to have like groups of people who are conversing, building, talking, playing against one another, doing various things, trying to like compete against one another, even in your case, leveling these gnomes up and branching them out to different games. And I think that's something that like is going to be really hard to replicate for any other metaverse, especially when you can only have like, a few people in the metaverse at any given time if you're running on other chains. But yeah. I wanted to ask, and I just wanted to say as well, like, thank you for thinking about that. Because for me, it's really important. I'm in Japan, and like, it's 9 times out of 10 the worst place ever to be for any drop on Wax, like ever. It's like Australia's pretty bad too, right? Like, and it's like everything is tailored towards other places. Usually Europe and the East Coast are okay and bearable, but like I know I've set my alarm a couple times to wake up at like 3 a.m. like just to take this job, right? Like, and it's like I miss so many because I'm just like, fuck it, I'm not get enough, right? So I like the fact that like you're actually actively thinking about giving people, time to wake up and come in and be able to have, a chance to get these rather than just having them all bought out. Like, so that's pretty cool. I wanted to ask about Series 2 because you've alluded to this. So we saw Series 1 on the let's see if I can bring it back up again. We saw Series 1 on the Nifty Box market. What's Series 2? Is there any differences, or is it a new set of characters? I mean, are they gonna obviously work together with like Series 1? Like they're not just gonna make Series 1 relevant, but like, yeah, what's going on with the Series 2 release that we need to know about?
Yeah, so what's gonna happen is, so like right now you can start creating these eggs in GNO City. So for example, if you have a Mary Jane gnome, you can go into the egg evolution screen and stake your Mary Jane cards, and it starts generating these eggs. And what's going to happen is once I release Series 2, it's going to be in the same collection of Gnome Series 1, but it's going to be a different schema, but it's going to have a higher level. It's going to have more purpose with them being able to be a worker, and then also creating another piece of the algorithm for PvP. So think about if a gnome is more fire related versus a gnome that might be water related or electric, whatever it's going to be. There's going to be one that's beating the other inside the algorithm. So I'm trying to keep I'm trying to avoid power gaming. So I don't want someone beating the system, because our algorithm is technically published on the blockchain. So anybody can see, oh, this is the weight base for defense, this is the weight base for this. So I want to create enough randomness in PvP, and this is my way of doing it. But if you have this Mary Jane, you can evolve it. Think about like creating a bigger character, but from having this Mary Jane gnome into whatever gnome we're going to call it, and it's going to have higher max level is going to be higher. We're also going to increase the max level on some of the Series 1 cards as well, because we don't want to devalue them at all. But our whole concept behind this really is to just continue evolving. But it's going to be a slow roll, so we're not going to release all these Series 2 cards out right away. So it's going to be just growing over time as we kind of grow. And what happens is, once you have enough eggs, or even if you have 50% of your eggs, so you have a shot to evolve into Series 2 for that character. And when you do that, what you get is a hybrid. So let's say you get the hybrid card. Let's say you don't even have enough eggs. Let's say you have 50% of it. You can still go take a shot for the evolution. So what's going to happen is, it's going to remove your eggs, though. You have a 50% shot of getting this evolution. If you get it, great. That NFT now becomes a proof of ownership for you to now be whitelisted for any packs that are released for that, like a mini pack for that character. If you're one of the first X percentage of people that evolve, you get a free mini pack as well. So you pretty much you're evolving that specific character, and you get to get potentially a way better card, because now you have a shot maybe at the hologram or whatever we're going to be creating. But my problem is, with Series 1, I created so many different variances and rarities. I'm trying to break that down and simplify that for Series 2, and make it a little bit more smaller and slow roll that way. But for me, looking at the evolution side was really to be like, okay, well, look, if you have this character, what would it look like if it was a little bit like more powerful? Like, what would it look like? So that's what we're going to be doing for all the characters over time.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, and so Pablo has a question here. Do we hold our egg NFTs until Series 2?
So your egg NFTs, I would hold them. So like, if you have your Mary J eggs right now, once we release the Series 2 character, we're going to announce a certain day. We're going to announce when you can do it, and we'll announce the amount that you need. So that might create some people be like, oh, shit, now I need to go on secondary market and buy more eggs. But we're trying to really kind of build it up in a way of like, look, we gave you X amount of time to build these eggs. So if you had, let's say, 3 Mary J cards and you stake them for egg evolutions, you get a certain hourly eggs. So you should, by this time, you should have enough to be able to do Series 2. But the hybrid character, once you create that, it's gonna burn those eggs. So if you have 50% of those eggs and you made it, great. If you didn't, you lose all those eggs. It won't take your Noken if you failed the evolution, but if you succeed, it'll take your Noken. And then basically, you have that hybrid character that will be 150 level max. And what's going to happen is you can clone any card. So if you have a Mary Jane Gnome Gold Parallel, for example, and it's level 150, you can clone those stats. So you don't have to re-level this hybrid character. This hybrid character is not going to be a level 1 unless you clone a level 1 character, but you're cloning it. You're not destroying your Series 1 cards at all. It's just taking away those eggs and evolving into Series 2.
That's cool. Yeah. And so this was already covered. I think Pablo already answered it, but just to clarify for anyone who's listening who might not see the comments, Darkness Rising asks, can all gnomes hatch an egg? And the consensus is no, only a select few.
So they will over time. So right now we're starting with card 1, working our way up. I think we're around 10 or 11 right now. But at the end of the day, we're going to make it to 150 because we have 150 different characters. When we make it to 150, all of them are going to eventually be able to be evolved. But if you go to the egg staking page and you hit the drop down, I'll show you which characters you can start staking now for the eggs.
Sure. Let me go back to here.
Look for the egg on the left-hand side.
There we go.
And then if you scroll down, you see where it says select egg type to unstake?
Here.
Yep. If you select it, can you click on it?
Sorry, yeah.
Didn't show up.
It's showing up for me. Maybe it's just maybe because it's a pop-up window. So it does show up for me. There's a drop-down box that says Mary J eggs, Nick B eggs, Nick Q eggs, Easter eggs, B eggs, Bigfoot eggs, Hodl eggs, Crypto Moon eggs, Mr. Doge eggs, Zomi eggs, Rona eggs, Punk eggs, and Viking eggs. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, so that right now is what you can start staking and getting your eggs for now. But eventually there's going to be all these other characters and that you can start staking for the eggs per hour.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think maybe because it's being live streamed, it just maybe because it's being live streamed, it doesn't show up. I guess it shows up on mine, so that's weird. But yeah, anyway, you can go over there and you can click that. There's one more question. Way out. I love this egg breeding information. It's like a freaking disclaimer that I'm gonna have to read to get a house. It's really long. I'm totally gonna read that because it's long enough that I have to know what's in there. But it's short enough that it's not gonna kill my day. Pablo had a question. Another question. Do you know how many gnomes we can use in teams? For example, 2 versus 2. Can we use just 1 gnome, or better to use 5 for the less energy?
So how teams are going to work in the tournaments, it's going to read your current lineup. So there's not if you have if it's 2v2 bracket, it's not like you are picking certain gnomes for that tournament or that bracket. So it's just going to read your active lineup. And so tournaments are it's not going to decrease your health. It's not going to decrease your energy. The tournaments run on them own, so you don't have to go in there and do anything. The tournaments are going to run. You'll be able to see the bracket where you lose and stuff like that. So it's more kind of like a league base, because if you win a match in round 1, you get 1 point. You win round 2, you win another point. If you win the final round, you get 4 points. And then over, I think it's 12 weeks, we break everything down and say, okay, well, this team has 162 points. This other team has 152. The winner is team 1. And we're going to break it down that way, but it's not going to take anything away from, the health or energy or anything like that. Like, you don't have to do anything. It's automatically doing it once you create a team and invite a user and enter the bracket.
I like this. The entire egg use case makes me super full. And I need this egg education. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, there's a breakdown of certain characters and their rarity and how much eggs that they, produce. So, for example, like a gold parallel will produce 3 eggs per hour. And if you level it up to like level 150, for example, you own bonus eggs per hour as well. So, if you had a character and you're playing PvP and, let's say it's a level 7, you're going to earn bonuses because it's a level 7 and you staked it for the eggs evolution, stuff like that. And then once you claim it, it creates an NFT, goes into your wallet, and an immutable trait says how many eggs that, you have for that one. A lot of questions I get asked. Well, what happens if I have 10 of these eggs? And it's going to total that amount, when you have to submit it for the evolution anyway.
Oh, Martin, on cue as always. I don't know, but I bet you I bet you that there's an omelet somewhere on that gnome food page. And if there isn't, there definitely should be over on NFT Blocks. So, I like it. Although I guess it might be cannibalism if gnomes ate omelets. I'm not sure. The perplexities of gaming and we had somebody complain about animal rights jokingly in the Up world, which I always think is funny. As a bit of an environmentalist myself. So, so again, the drop, if you want to participate in the GNO City land drop, you need to be on that whitelist. And so you can pick up that whitelist token with Nokin, which you can get over on Alcor. And then I think you said next Tuesday, once you're on that whitelist, where do people find out like the specifics and the times and the details? Like, where's the best place for them to watch for the updates to this drop? Is it Discord? Is it Twitter? Is it Telegram? Where should they be?
I usually post it in Twitter. I post it in Discord and Telegram. So if you have one of those, I'll post it at the same time. So you'll be able to. I'll probably drop a time, probably on Monday, of what time it will be on Tuesday. Of course, I'm gonna do separate drops. I just got to figure out how I'm gonna do this for different times of the world. But I'm trying to help those people out in Asia and Australia. That was my biggest, I guess, feedback I got before was you always drop it, at like 1 p.m. and that's not friendly for other people apparently. So I'm trying to figure it out so it works in a way because it is whitelisted. So we might just split the in two, and if you want to participate in both, you can, because technically you can obtain 2 of these. There'll be account limit 1 on the first one, account limit 1 on the other one. So technically you can get 2 if I separate the drops.
Yeah, I think actually we did that, or we played around with that idea, and it's actually not a bad idea to do that with drops, because then you can give people that window and like they can choose whether it's like basically 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the morning, or vice versa, depending upon where they happen to live. I just want to clarify one more thing. Now, this is a whitelist that only people who are whitelisted can buy ever, or this is a whitelist that after a certain time period, some of these go on sale for the general populace.
Yeah, so I don't even think I ever want to sell it in the general public. So I think because I don't want to release this and let's say 20% of people don't get a piece of land and now they're just stuck with they wasted 15 wax. I don't like that idea. So I'm gonna create. So if you do have this whitelist ticket, I'm gonna on NFT Blocks they tell you who like bought it. So I'm gonna create a list. I'm gonna cross-reference it. I'm gonna remove those people, and I'm gonna create a new whitelist of those usernames, and I'm gonna let people be able to burn their NFTs, but they're gonna be on a separate whitelist. And then eventually, when I release another whitelist ticket in the future, those people that were already on it are already going to be on it. But we did a snapshot, I want to say a couple months ago, where there is guaranteed spots for certain land right now. I think there's 105 guaranteed spots if you held a certain amount of Noken at a certain time. That list is published on our website and Telegram and all that stuff. But there's that guaranteed spot, and then this one is your chance at it. But I really don't like the idea of just saying, hey, look, you just spent 15 wax, now it's wasted. So I really want to create utility behind it. So it's not like, oh, I didn't get a piece of land, I just wasted. Like, I don't like that feeling. I don't want that to happen to me. So I'm really trying to create it so they're whitelisted forever until they, get a chance at one.
Yeah. Okay, great. I like it. Yeah. Because like you said, you have the ability to just create land whenever you want. as do we, as do a lot of these metaverses. But doing that is just basically shooting yourself in the foot. And you know, for land to have any value, it needs to be scarce. I mean, if every single person on the planet owned a little bit of land, I don't know what that would look like, but like it might look good. But at the same time, well, I guess we would be Native Americans because we all just collectively own everything together. But that's a whole different topic and a whole different show. Sorry, I get off on these tangents once in a while. One other thing that I wanted to ask was from Darkness Rising: will the hatch gnomes be able to hatch eggs? Like, is there a limit on the gens, or can one keep hatching down a bloodline gnome of sorts? It's like a whole mythology book here. It's great.
I'm confused by that, but if you if you have enough eggs to go into, you know, a certain character, and let's say you want to keep on evolving and keep on getting more eggs on that same character, you technically can evolve it again and clone another character. But you're getting a hybrid character, so we're playing this as, you know, hybrid. Yeah, it's max level 150, but it's more common, because, you know, everyone could have the opportunity to hatch and go into series 2. But once we release these packs and they're sold out and the whitelisted from the hybrid character, those packs are never ever going to be released again. So these people that are evolving into hybrid are going to be stuck in hybrid, and that's it. So that's why it's kind of like, hey, hatch as soon as possible and move into series 2, because there's a shot where you're only going to be able to get these, you know, mini packs of this character on the secondary market. And of course, we don't control the price on secondary market, but so it's kind of one of those things where I think people will still use these eggs and still kind of get this hybrid character, because some might not have a max level 150. Now they want a 150. And that's one way to do it.
Great. Okay, I think that wraps it up. So again, definitely don't be sitting around waiting because it's too complicated to figure out, or because you don't have no token. I like that. You don't have no token. So to get on the whitelist, go over to Alcor, and because like once these are gone, then they're gone, right? Like there's no public sale. There's none of that going to go on the market. So if you want one, definitely, or if you want a chance at one, I guess that's the better way to phrase it. If you want a chance at one, definitely go get one of these whitelist tickets, which again, as Nick said, that you know, even if you don't get one, you'll still be on the whitelist for future things that they do, which is always good as well. So is there anything that you wanted to take us out with there, Nick? Something that we might have missed, or something that other you know, people might want to know? I think we covered most of it.
Yeah, I think we covered everything, but I encourage anybody that, you know, if you're not sure how to play or anything, you know, join our Telegram, hit us up on Twitter, join our Discord. The community will help you. They will help you figure it out. You know, we want to make sure everyone understands the game, and it is confusing, you know, just first entering and be like, where do I start? Because it is overwhelming, but I assure you it's not as complicated as it seems, and you'll get the hang of it pretty quick.
Very cool. And yeah, it was great to have you back again, Nick. I look forward to the next time that you get to come and enlighten us with all the, you know, as Darkness Rising says, all the very well thought out things that you're doing here with us in this space. So that's just pretty awesome. And it's awesome to see like you guys grow and evolve, and the new ideas keep coming out. Like, it's just going to be amazing what happens in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. It's going to be nuts. So thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be back. Corey and I will be back on Monday for our Monday morning chill. And I believe that's the 22nd, which means that we're going to be doing a special episode where we unleash the mall gallery on the world. It's going to be their grand opening on the 22nd. So that's going to be pretty cool. And also, if you know where to find me over on Gener EOS and you're interested in all the funding options that are going on with Pomelo, definitely come and check out those Pomelo pitch deck shows that we're doing for great, projects that are looking into getting EOS.io funding to develop various things, games, marketing, metaverses. There's tons of stuff going on over there. So if you have a project that you'd like to support, go check and see if they've got a proposal on Pomelo. It's quadratic funding, so 1 or 2 EOS goes a long way. So that's all we have for today. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Thank you, everyone.